Well, take a sip of tea. Sip of tea. Look, Rouselle, did Disney make it clear to you that this was a limited order of episodes? I ask the question because if you understand that it's a limited order, you can't waste episodes. Do you understand? I'm sure the idea of a midnight sequel appealed to you. Bit of a vanity project, perhaps, for you. The person who pitched it to you was a writer called checks notes Shawarma Angel-Waterfall. I might have copied that down slightly wrongly, but it sounds like somebody you'd made up. It sounds like one of your companions. Let's assume she's a real woman. She comes to you, she new in TV, wants to make her name. Rouselle, she says, I'd like to make a sequel to Midnight, one of your acclaimed episodes from your first run as showrunner. Sure, you say. You've got my attention. You've appealed to my ego. Keep talking. Well, here's my premise. I'm listening. Have you seen Aliens?
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
Fucking A.
Yes, of course I've fucking seen it. Everybody's seen it. You seen The Thing?
Nobody trusts anybody now. We're all very tired.
Yeah. You seen Alien 3? Yes. Sorry, do you want to say a bit more about the story? No, I think I've just, in eloquent shorthand, explained exactly what I want to do. We can even quote from Aliens because Disney own the IP and they now part own us and you soulless corporate stooge. So we can quote directly from them. We'll have, great sets that will be evocative of the Alien movies and none of the panache, none of the directorial artistry, none of the tension, because it will all be a little bit abstract, a little bit, intangible. But there'll be enough pop cultural shorthand in the episode that the audience will almost construct it themselves. In fact, I haven't even written a script. What I've got here is just a set of, can you see, set of bullet points. There they are. And I thought we could call it Join the Dots. Well, that's a bit on the nose, even for me, Shawarma Angel-Waterfall. Shouldn't we call it, I don't know, well, The Well! Yeah, great. What's the significance of the well? I don't know. You just said the well. Well, I know I said it, but I said it because you said it. Well, I didn't say it. I said, no, you said well. Did I? Yes. Okay, well, let's have a well in it, okay? What? Okay, what about this? It's the future of the Midnight Planet, hundreds of thousands of years in the future. They're digging a well to mine the diamonds on the planet, because remember, it's a planet made of precious crystal, and they unearth the creature. What's it doing in the atmosphere, in the thing, in the crust of the planet? What's it doing there underground? I don't know. We don't have to explain that, do we? Well, we fucking should, because the audience will expect to know. The audience doesn't need to know anything. If you'd been, as I have, to the Cardiff School of TV and cinema, you would know that the audience needs very little indeed. Well, they need something, don't they? No, I would say not. And so it was that the well was born. Written by AI, or Shawarma Angel-Waterfall, in about 4 seconds. Expensively, lavishly produced. And with what's fast becoming a series trope, the sort of the token hectoring on equality for minorities, this time in the form of Britain's hardest working deaf girl, Frankie from EastEnders. Was that her name, Frankie? I think it was. You'll recall she was deaf in EastEnders too, because she's deaf. Here, her being deaf was cunningly, i.e. lazily, incorporated as a plot point. She couldn't hear the monster, therefore she couldn't hear literally the devil on her shoulder whispering in her ear, hence she survived, maybe, I don't know, I'm not really sure what was going on. But there she was, and we got the episode stopped for, I don't know, 30-40 seconds while the Doctor and Belinda lectured us on our lack of inclusivity for the deaf. Why aren't nurses in the future mandated to use sign language? Shouldn't they be? Not on Earth, but on the planet 6767, yes. Was I alone? And we'll come back to the plot. I mean, there isn't one. We've covered it. But was I alone in thinking, will there really be any deaf people in the future? Belinda hinted at it, didn't she, when she said something like, "How we're in the year 5,338,042. By that time, human beings will have evolved." Nonsense, says the Doctor. Humans are humans wherever you go. In other words, for the purposes of the politics of this show, we're certainly not going to go down the road of imagining that anything that we consider to be beyond normative has been genetically expunged from the population. We're not eugenicists. So, it doesn't matter how far into the future we go, we're going to encounter people who are disabled. Because disabled people are people too. So, improbably, Frankie from EastEnders was in the show. But if you can travel to the stars, colonies, a gazillion miles away from Earth, if indeed what we call humanity has become so advanced that they've even forgotten their origins, then surely they can fix deafness, can't they? Just a thought. Just seemed odd to me that should be the case. But anyway, look, if you're deaf, don't write in. I'm with you. I'm for you. Look. Yeah? So don't write in. I'm with you. But you wouldn't really expect there to be any deaf people 500,000 years from now. In the same way that there won't be any bald people. Even though, well, either we'll all be bald, because we'll have evolved beyond the need to have any hair at all. But if we've decided to retain hair as an affectation, it's likely that people will go down the fashionable route, as I have, and strategically shaved their heads to give the illusion of patterned baldness. I do it because it's cool. And, of course, it's a visual shorthand for me having more testosterone than other men. In other words, I'm more of a man than you. Yes, you who's watching, who's a full head of hair. Just so you know. So the well then. I was with the girl at the end. Just the girl at the end. Her character was just a sort of one-dimensional cipher. She said, I couldn't even begin to tell you what happened. And I'm with her. Didn't matter, did it? Because all Rouselle and Shawarma Angel-Waterfall had in mind was this image of a sort of clock face from above with a deaf girl in the middle and the beast behind and everybody trying to work. Oh, it's positioned at midnight. Nice little callback to the previous episode. Wonderful, wonderful. Literally sketched on a napkin. There's your episode in a symbol. Wonderful. Any story there for me to latch onto? Any characters that I might feel something for? Oh, there was the attempt at sort of giving a little bit of backstory to one of the dead-eyed soldiers who sacrificed herself a la Ellen Ripley in the end, and we were supposed to care about her, but we couldn't, could we? Because we barely knew her. She'd had about 6 lines of dialogue before she died. That's the problem with the single episode format, isn't it? It just doesn't give supporting characters any time to develop, breathe, change in front of our very eyes. They can't really have an arc, can they? When they're subordinate to all the other shit. For example, the token bit at the beginning of every episode now, the Dr. Bean extremely cam. Girl, you're beginning to enjoy this! Changing into their new clothes to Britney Spears Toxic. I mean, what the fuck? Aren't we beyond this, Rouselle? Aren't we? Can you imagine, Tom Baker doing that? I was with the guy who said, I'd rather you didn't call me babes. And the doctor sort of countered sassily with, well, okay, hun. A bit passive-aggressively, I thought. But the doctor shouldn't say babes or hun, should he? Every time he does, my penis withdraws slightly further into my body. It's almost now fully inverted. If it fully inverts, I'm coming after you, Rouselle. I'm actually going to sue you. Just so you know. It'll be an extraordinary test case. I don't really have anything else to say about it. Oh, there was the sound effect from War Games. That was, are you allowed to do that? You don't own that, do you, Disney? Don't own War Games, it's an MGM movie. Don't Amazon own War Games? Amazon! They used one of your sound effects, a computer sound. Sue them! Sue them! Given that the Doctor's 15, shouldn't the episode have been called midnight? I thought of that joke this morning, and I hope that I delivered it as it sounded in my head, because I thought it was pretty good. So look, ongoing story arc stuff. Miss Flood appeared at the end in a disguise. Obviously tracking the Doctor's movements. Who is she? Probably the Rani. We don't know. We'll find out in the final episode. The final episode ever of this show. And it will be a huge disappointment. It is, of course, a repeat of the trope from the first series of having a woman who appears in many different identities. It turns out to be the sort of queen villain of the piece. Having used that idea in just the previous series, would it have been a good idea to do something different for this one? But I suppose you've already started with Anita Dobson, haven't you? So you've got to bring that to some sort of conclusion. I felt sorry for Shawarma Angel-Waterfall, if indeed she's a real person, because I thought, well, she's going to put this on a CV and some people in the industry will be impressed, and then they'll watch the episode and they won't be impressed. They'll say, good Lord, this was an extraordinarily generic piece of nothing. Perhaps saved in editing, some good editing to kind of give a sense of the invisible creature, but nah, nothing really to write home about. I hate the idea that there's no story time built in between these episodes, by the way. You're not giving Rouselle much of a chance to the missing adventure writers who will try to insert some good material between your bad material in the future, and no, that's not a euphemism. Stephen got it. He pissed about with chronology so much there might be centuries missing in Matt Smith's and Peter Capaldi's adventures. Plenty to work with. If I'm a novelist and I'm trying to write a missing adventure for Shooty, what am I going to do? I'm going to have to talk about the missing 15 seconds, or to set an adventure in the 45 minutes between costume changes. I didn't like the G symbol at the colony. It looked like the symbol from the show Gladiators. Surely to God, someone should have seen that and amended it. And that's it. We crawled out of the well and we gained nothing. Literally, at the end of the episode, for no reason, everything was back to the way it was at the beginning. The creature was loose on the colony, stalking the inhabitants, but the doctor was gone. So, tough shit. You survived that initial encounter for our own cheap entertainment. Now you've got to deal with it all over again, except the gung-ho, dutiful Marine is gone. She's dead. Doctor's gone. Belinda's gone. Deaf Girl's gone. You're fucked. The end. Next week, on a show that's fast running out of time and road, the return of Ruby Sunday. And this time she's got a boyfriend. I can hardly wait. No, I can wait.